Well, greetings and salutations, YouTube. Well, it's just after 11 on Saturday, and I just got back from the range. Shooting old Krusty here. And I didn't bring my video camera. I didn't want to bore you with more 9mm out of this Canic or any more Mosin. I did shoot the Mosin. I think I ran 40 rounds through that. And it was a lot of fun. But what I wanted to tell you today about was typically what happens when I go to the range. When I go to the range, our range here, the one that I go to, is a public range. It's outdoors, and you know, it's maintained by volunteers. And you know, one of the things that they ask you, and the signage says out there, is that you pick up your trash when you leave. And I think that's, you know, the respectable thing to do. Which not everybody does it, but one of the things I do when I go out to the range is I you know, usually scour the berms and the shooting areas for range scrap, and because you know, I do some reloading and stuff, and I like to have these reloading supplies on hand. You know, if I decide to get a shotgun reloader, which I'm going to do, I can reload my shotgun shells. So let me show you the haul today. I left just around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I just got back about 15 minutes ago. Let me show you my haul. I've got a couple of different assortments of 410. I'm going to get a hand loader, you know, an old style hand loader. I have a 410, so I can use these. Got I don't know how old these are. I haven't seen these. What the heck are they? Winchesters? Old paper tube Super X shotgun shells. Yeah, that's old school. High brass. Usually all 410 is high brass. And I got some Remington. What were these? 3-inch. Doesn't say what load they were, but I got baker's dozen of these. Someone's out shooting their new Saga, I guess. I got 25 rounds of Remington Express 2 3/4 high brass. And I just picked up a jug, and I was going to, you know, scour the berm for some lead scrap, and found 50 rounds of 9mm brass, which is unheard of out there. Usually there's no brass on the ground. The only thing that's on the ground is all that surplus steel crap. 7.62 by 39, 7.62 by 54, Russian AR rounds, you know, steel stuff. But I found 50 rounds of Remington 9mm brass. Whoops, put that in the wrong bag. I was as giddy as a schoolgirl. And then about 40 pounds of lead, and it's just laying on the berm. You didn't have to dig for it; just pick it up off the ground. And I'll combine that with the 50 pounds I have in here, 60 pounds I have in there. And let's see if it fills that up. There we go. Oh yeah. And then some. Oh my God. That's heavy. Well, you may be wondering, Rick, what are you going to do with all that junk? Well, you would sound like my father. But the fact of the matter is that I reload 9mm and 44 Magnum. And yeah, I can buy cast bullets that are already sized and lubed. I'd rather get to a point where I'm making my own bullets too. So the only thing I have to buy is the powder and primers. So right now I'm just going to take this stuff and I'm build a little homemade forge and melt this down and make lead ingots, and then over time procure the equipment to cast bullets. But for right now I'm just making lead ingots. And hey, I'm taking this stuff. I picked up in a couple hours. I pick up 20-30 pounds of this stuff every time I go out, and that's 20 or 30 pounds of lead that's not in the environment. And there's literally tons of this stuff. Every time I go out there, I think I'm not going to find anything today because I've already scoured this hill 5 times. And I'll walk up to the berm and I'll bend over and look at the ground, and here's 50 of them at my feet, just sitting there in the top. And there's got to be literally tons of this stuff out there. And if you're in an area that people shoot a lot in and it's outdoors and there's no rules against picking this stuff up, hey, pick it up. If you're so inclined. If you're like me, this is like money. And if it ever comes to a point where shit does hit the fan, this stuff is going to be tradable. In this country, we don't make lead anymore. We shut down the last smelter in the country at the beginning of the year because of EPA regulations. Thank you very much. And California by 2019 isn't going to allow lead shot at all. I could go on and on about the stupidity of legislatures around this country, but I digress. I picked up all this lead without any gloved hands or anything, and with no side effects at all. So that's my haul for today. I'm really psyched. I'm starting to get a pretty good collection of reloading materials. Soon I'll have to justify the purchase of the equipment because I have all the stuff. And yeah, if a lot of times if you shoot in a like an indoor range, a place like in a city that has a building that you can go and shoot your guns in, they probably frown on picking up brass. In fact, it's probably part of their rules that you can't. And in that situation, I can see their thought process on that. They got to make a living. They got to keep the lights on. They got to keep the AC on. So, if that's their role, respect that role. Leave the brass on the ground. Let them keep it. Better yet, in all probability, they probably have somebody on staff that reloads all that stuff and then sells it at the front of the store where you come in. And it would probably be in everybody's best interest if you're patronizing a range like that you purchase your ammo from the range. Helps keep their doors open, helps keep the shooting sport alive. We don't have that kind of a situation out here. We've got an outdoor area on the outskirts of town that you can shoot at and do whatever you want. Just clean up your own mess. It's just sad that some people don't follow that rule and they leave their crap and everything out there. So if you bring it in, pack it out. That's just it's a good rule to live by. So that was my Saturday morning. Now I gotta clean my Mosin. I was shooting surplus ammo through the thing today, and it's I don't even know where it's from, but it's that probably Russian or Bulgarian or some Slovakian type ammo. But that ammo's corrosive. It's not the powder or the projectile that's corrosive. It's the compound that they use in the primer. It's got some kind of salts in it, and it's very corrosive to your gun barrel. You don't want to leave that residue in your barrel for an extended period of time. It'll pit and corrode your barrel, which isn't good for it apparently. So there's different methods of cleaning that. I was going around YouTube looking for the most effective way to do that, and I came across one of the channels that I subscribe to is Military Arms Channel. MAC is the channel name, Military Arms Channel, And that guy's ex-military, and he was just recently, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, posted a video. It might have been longer than that. Might have been going through his archives, but he did a video on corrosive ammo and what the best way to clean your gun after shooting corrosive ammo. It's just not this rimmed cartridge that I'm talking about. It's a lot of this surplus ammo that comes in for the AK-47 and the AK-74, and maybe the Mausers too. Generally speaking, if it comes in a spam can, it's a pretty good bet that it's corrosive. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But anyway, he was saying that, there's a lot of people out there who say use Windex with ammonia D, and that's all well and good if you want to spend $3.50 a quart for a product that's 90 to 95% water. What you're trying to do is flush the salts away. It's just an added step in the cleaning process of your gun. You're not eliminating the other cleaning processes. You're adding a process. So, if 90% of that Windex is water, and it's probably not too healthy to be handling ammonia, why don't you just flush the gun with water? And he used the spray bottle, but I think I'm just going to use the hose. If it was an AK-47, I probably wouldn't do that, but it's a Mosin. So, who cares? You want to watch me hose down my Mosin? Okay. Oh, just one more thing before I get the hose out and spray down the Mosin. You might wonder, maybe you don't. What kind of brass I pick up. Anything that's shiny brass, I don't care what caliber it is, I pick it up. Because this stuff is valuable. It's like money. You're not going to get rich picking one or two at a time, but if you go to the range and you find 5 or 6 rounds laying on the ground and you pick it up, and you have a box in your garage or a bag in your garage that has that caliber, and just throw it in there and accumulate it. And then, before you know it, if you go to the range often enough and you find enough of this stuff laying around, before you know it, you've got something, you got a quantity, and reloaders are always looking for this stuff, and even stuff like this. This is a steel cased, I think it's a 45. Yeah, 45 auto. You can reload this stuff. Aluminum, no. Aluminum, deprime it and throw it in if you got an aluminum scrap pile, throw it in an aluminum scrap pile. But steel case ammo you can reload. I wouldn't make a habit of reloading exclusively steel cased ammo. And some of this stuff, I haven't seen any 45 that has Bourdain primers in them, but there's a lot of 9mm import Russian ammo that's Bourdain primed. To leave that on the range, that's garbage. It's too hard to deep prime, and it's a pain in the ass to get primers for. So, but this stuff you can use, and unless you got carbide dyes, I wouldn't use this exclusively, but if you can sneak one or two in. But I'll take this 45, and I got a bag and I put it in. I think this is I found this one today. I think this is a 30 caliber. Not really sure. I have to do a little investigating on the markings. There's no caliber on the case itself. So I'm probably 308. And then it's either 762 or not 762. Come on, light. It's probably 223 or 546 NATO. But it's brass and it can be reloaded, even though this stuff is cheap and there's a lot of it. But this stuff is gold. 9mm, 40 caliber, 45 ACP, 45 auto, or 45 ACP, 45 auto. I don't see too much 308, but it's out there. Pick it up. It's valuable. And it keeps the environment clean. Let's go hose the Mosin now.